Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel CMA Club. Myself Vaibhavi Thakur, and today I'm going to start with the second lecture of cost accounting, the first chapter of cost accounting. So we have ended with the advantages of cost accounting. Now we are starting with the limitations of cost accounting system. Like any other system of accounting, cost accounting is not an exact science but an art which is developed through the theories of the accounting practices based on the reasoning and common sense. So, the cost accounting can also be said as an art. Why? Because it has developed the theories and accounting practices which are based on the reasoning and the common sense. Many of the theories cannot be proved, nor can they be disproved. So there may be some theories or many theories which cannot be proved or neither can be disproved. They grow up in the course of time to become conventions and accepted principle of cost accounting. These principles are by no means static. They are changing from day to day, and what is correct today may not be holds true in the circumstances of tomorrow. So all the things depends on the circumstances, and the principles and the theories changes from the day to day. So one thing is correct today, but it may be wrong tomorrow, so it is not fixed. Okay, now large number of conventions, estimates and flexible factors. No cost can be said to be exact as they incorporate a large number of conventions, estimation and flexible factors. So it is not said that this could be the cost. Exact cost cannot be determined. Why? Because some factors are involved, like classification of cost into elements, material issue pricing based on average or standards, apportionment of overhead expenses and their allocation to the cost per unit centers, cost units or centers, arbitrary allocation of joint costs, division of overhead into fixed and variable. So these are the things, or these are the factors involved to which we cannot exactly say the cost of a particular product or the goods. These all are the things, practical things which we will do in the next chapters. Cost accounting lacks the uniform procedures and formats in preparing the cost information of a product or a service. So there is no uniform or exact procedure and format to prepare the cost information. Given in view this limitation, all the cost accounting results can be taken as a mere estimate. So whatever the uh, outcome of the cost accounting of or the outcome of the information, it is taken as the estimates and not it is taken as an exact cost or exact result. Next is installation of cost system or cost accounting system. From what has been stated in the preceding sections, it will be seen that there cannot be a ready-made cost system suitable for a business. So there is no particular system which can be suited for the business. Such system has to be specifically designed for an undertaking to meet its specific needs. So it depends on the different undertakings, the type of business or type of industry, whatever it may be. It depends on the specific goods or the specific needs. Before installing a cost system, the proper care should be taken to study and taken into account all the aspects involved, as otherwise the system will be misfit and full advantages will not be realized from it. So before installing a cost system, there should be proper care should be taken. Everything should be checked properly, otherwise you will not be able to get the full advantages of it. The following are points should be looked into the prerequisites satisfied before installing a cost system. Number one, nature, method, and stages of production. What is the nature of the production, method of the production, what are the stages of the production, the number of varieties and quantity of each product, and such other technical aspects should be examined. So, what number of varieties would be produced, how much quantity would be produced, that all should be taken into consideration. It is to be seen how complex or simple the production methods are and what is the degree of control exercised over them. So, how simple the production methods is, all the things that should be taken into consideration while installing a cost system. The size, layout, and organization of factory should be studied. So, what is the size of the factory, layout of it? All the things should be studied. The method of purchase, receipt, storage, and issue of material should be examined and modified whenever considered necessary. So, what will be the method of purchase in either in the cash or in the credit, receipt, storage, issue of material, how the material will be issued, all the things should be examined. The wage payment method should be studied. Next is requirement of the management and the policy adopted by them towards the cost control should be kept in view. The cost system to be installed should be considered. It is needless to emphasize that installation and operation system should be economic. So these all the things are to be taken into consideration. Next is the system should be easy, simple to operate. It can be effectively run if it is appropriate and properly suited to the organization. So if it suits the organization properly, it will run effectively. From forms and records of original entry should be so designed and to involve minimum clerical work and expenditure. The system should be so designed that the cost control can be effectively exercised. The system should be incorporate suitable procedure for reporting to various level of management. It should be based on the principles of exceptions. So these all the matters which are taken into consideration while installing the cost system or cost accounting system. Cost object, cost centers, and cost units. These are elements of the cost. So we will learn this. Cost is a measurement in the monetary terms of the amount of resources used for the purpose of production or of goods or rendering the services. So in simple terms, it is total of all the expenses. So what is cost? It is a measurement in the monetary terms. What amount of expenses would be there for purpose of production of the goods or providing the services. Now there are element of cost, that is material, labor, and expenses. Material is divided into two, but direct material and indirect material. Labor is also divided into two, direct labor, indirect labor, and expenses also, like direct expenses and indirect expenses. Now, what is prime cost? So, addition of direct material, labor, and direct expenses is prime cost. And what is overheads? Indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses is called overhead. What is direct material cost? It is defined as the cost of material which can be attributed to a cost object in an economically feasible way. Direct material are those materials which can be identified in the product and can be measured directly charged to the product. So basically direct material cost is a cost which is attributed to the cost of the material which is attributed to the cost object in an economic feasible way. Indirect material cost. Materials, the cost of which cannot be directly attributed to the particular cost object. So it cannot be directly said for the particular object. or I would say particular goods or particular product. Indirect materials are those materials which do not normally form a part of finished product. So these materials do not form the part of the finished product. It is involved indirectly and the cost will be the same. Next is direct labor. The cost of employees which can be attributed to the cost object in the economically feasible way. In simple words, it is that labor which can be conveniently identified or attributed wholly to a particular job, product or process or expended in converting raw material into finished goods. Wages of such labor are known as direct wages. So what is direct labor? Direct labor means the persons who are involved in the production of goods, I would say. It is that labor which can be identified and or attributed wholly to particular job, process, in converting raw material to finished goods. That is called direct labor, and the wages or the wages which are paid to the labor are known as direct labor wages. Next is indirect labor or employee cost. The labor or employee cost which cannot be directly attributed to a particular object. The wages of that labor which cannot be allocated but which can be apportioned or absorbed by the cost center or cost unit is known as indirect labor. So they are said to be indirect labor. In other words, paid to labor which are employed other than on the production constitute indirect labor cost. Let's see with the example. Charge hands and supervisors, maintenance workers, man employed in service departments. So these all are uh, indirect labor, apprentices, trainees, etc. Now, direct or chargeable expense. So, what is direct expenses? The expenses relating to the manufacture of a product or rendering services, which is identified or linked with the cost object other than direct material cost and direct employee cost. So, except direct material and direct employee cost, whatever the expenses which are made for rendering the services or to produce the goods which can be identified or linked, that is called direct expenses. What is overhead? Overhead comprise of indirect material, indirect employee and indirect expenses. Prime cost: direct material, direct labor and direct expenses. It involves the prime cost. Cost object: what is it? It is a technical name for product or service, a project, a department, or any activity to which the cost relates. Therefore, the term should always be linked with the cost object to be more meaningful. The cost object could be defined broadly or narrowly. At a broader level, cost object may be named as cost center, and at lowermost level it may be called as a cost unit. Now we need to understand what is cost center. Okay, CIMA defines a cost center as a location, a person, or an item of equipment in or connected with an undertaking in relation to which cost ascertained and used for the purpose of cost control. So it is basically a location or a person or an item which is connected with the undertaking relating to the cost ascertained and used for the purpose of cost control, that is called cost center. Cost center are of two types: personal and impersonal cost center. Personal cost center consists of person or a group of persons. An impersonal cost center consists of location or item of equipment or group of equipments. There are two main types of cost centers: production cost and service cost center. Production cost centers are engaged in production work, that is engaged in converting raw material to finished goods, And service centers are ancillary to render service to the production cost centers, for example, plant maintenance, administration, etc. Now, what is the responsibility center? It denotes a segment of business organization for activities of which responsibility is assigned to a specific person. So, the uh, responsibility of a segment of business organization is assigned to a specific person. There's a factory may be split into number of centers, and supervisor is assigned with the responsibility of each center. So where there is a responsibility assigned to a particular person, that is called responsibility center. For each center there will be a supervisor to who is responsible for that center, or is given the responsibility of that center. Next is profit center. It is a segment of a business that is responsible for all the activities involving the production and sale of products, systems, and services. Thus, a profit center encompasses both cost that is incurred in and revenue that it is generated. They are created to delegate responsibility to individual measure their performance. So, profit center is also a segment of business which is responsible for all the activities which are involved in the production or the sale of goods and services. Next is what is cost unit. It is a device for the purpose of breaking up or separating the cost into smaller subdivisions. So, for it is a device to break up or to separate the cost into smaller divisions attributable to the product or service. It is defined as a unit or a product or unit of product or service in relation to which the costs are ascertained. What is cost allocation? When the item of costs are identifiable directly with some products or department, such costs are charged to